Welcome to Chapter 4. So we've completed Chapter 3, we're ready for Chapter 4, and here we are. Chapter 4 talks about slope, again, but a little bit more involved. So the first, and probably the most important equation that we're going to deal with from now until you get much, much older is this, and this is slope-intercept form, okay? The m represents the slope, and we know that because we've dealt with this. We've dealt with direct variation. This is just a slope. Right in this form, you guys have already graphed these. You did it on the last assessment. Now, the only new thing is that we're going to add in this variable b, and b, of course, stands for the y-intercept. Okay? When the y-intercept comes into play, all that means is instead of going through 0, 0 like we have been when we're graphing, now this is saying, well, we can start at another point on the y-axis, say 2, and that's going to be our y-intercept. Okay? So if you're looking for a future tattoo one day, this might be your first number one choice. Y equals mx plus b. Very, very important formula here. So if we take a look down here, it says, given the slope and the y-intercept of the line, write the equation in slope-intercept form. So it always has to be y equals mx plus b. We're given m. We're given m the slope, and we're given b the y-intercept. Those are the only two things we need to write this in slope-intercept form. The y, the equal sign, the x, they're always going to stay the same. So here's your slope. The slope is 2, so I'm going to replace m with 2. X stays the same, and my y-intercept is -1. You want to put plus -1? Go ahead. Whatever makes you happy. In the second example, they gave us a slope. A fraction for slope? Yeah, we want fractions for slope. Leave them as fractions. Don't put them as decimals. Because when we're graphing it, we want to go down, over, or up, over. We want a slope. We want a fraction. And then the y-intercept was +4. So there's slope-intercept form. There's y equals mx plus b. Take a look at it. I would zoom in if I could, but I don't know how to do that yet. So. And the last part of it here, when you're given a graph. Well, when you're given a graph and there's a line that is graphed, we need to figure out where does this line hit the y-axis, and it hits it right here. Right there. And that point is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the y-intercept is -4 because it's below 0. And then the slope, well, here's a point, and here's a point. So I'll count my rise. 1, 2, 3, over 1. Now you got to write in slope-intercept form. Done. Slope, y-intercept. Last example. We're looking for the slope and the y-intercept. Well, it gives us the y-intercept right here, because that's where the line crosses the y-axis. 7, +7. Now our slope is decreasing. A lot of times we forget the negative sign. I'm going to put it in right now. I'm getting old, I might forget it. And the other point they give us is right here. So I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 6 over 4, or down 3 over 2. I'm going to use a simplified version. Another thing sometimes we forget is the x. There's slope-intercept form. Hopefully it helped you guys out. It has helped me out tremendously. I owe it everything. Enjoy.